What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more J-drama score, or soundtrack. And indeed, this one, I suppose, is closer to a song, though it still has a soundtrack feel. Which is to say, we're going to listen to the theme of Hero, which is the main theme of the show. There's a number of tracks that play repeatedly, even in some cases multiple times in the same episode, but this one is the title sequence track, and it plays at some of the most prominent moments narratively, including in the final episode. Now, I did react to the guitar version of this, which actually has a very different feel. That one is a bit slow and emotionally heavier, and it has a slight melancholy to it. This one is very different. It is just energetic, it's fun, it encapsulates the happier moments of the show. Now, again, for those who've seen My Boss, My Hero, they will know, and if you haven't seen it, it's a show that mixes different genres. It's comedy, there's a bit of like romantic drama, maybe not as big as in some other shows, but it's still there, and there is definitely some like coming of age stories. And not only for the main character, because he's actually older than all of his other classmates, which is part of the point of the show, but other characters, supporting characters as well. So yeah, it blends some different genres, and it blends some different emotions. It is hilarious one moment, and then the next scene, it's like quite emotional, so it's a very dynamic show. I've mentioned before, it is one of the very first, in fact, the very first J-dramas I ever saw. It's from 2005. This is actually the DVD version. It's a Malaysian company. Most of my J-drama box sets come from this company. But I actually have this show and a fan sub, which, like, the subtitles and fan subs, they tend to be a little bit better. So when I did the watch-along on my Patreon, which I'll try to remember to put a link in the description here in case anyone wants to see that hasn't. But, yeah, when I watched it on my Patreon, I watched the fan sub. In any case, this is the soundtrack, and as I said, we're going to listen to one of the final tunes on the soundtrack, but maybe the first tune when it comes to the centrality of tracks to the show itself, and that is Theme of Hero. And the whole score is done by Takami, though fair to say, there are Tokyo tracks in the soundtrack, not only the original Tokyo tracks, and by Tokyo I mean Tokio, the former band of lead actor in the show, Nagase Tomoya. But yes, there's also a piano remix of their song Sorafune, so yeah, it's mainly by Takami, but Tokyo was involved in the soundtrack as well. In any case, this is from My Boss, My Hero 2005, Theme of Hero by series composer Takami. awesome. Again, it's hard not to think of scenes from the show. I'm thinking of one or two in particular. I'll be mum in case folks haven't seen the show but are willing to head over to Patreon and watch the watch along, or indeed watch it independently. Nevertheless, the point is, I love the composition. We've got some real great bass work that stood out early on. Obviously, the guitar is going for notable sections of the track, but we also have some brass, we have some soulful singers, and not just at the end when we hear the line, "Here comes a hero," but even before that there's some supporting, like, background, almost like choir, like gospel type singing. There's the drums, which are rolling away, but also there's like tambourine, and just in general it has a fun sound. And then of course suddenly you get into this very string oriented section, which is a nice interlude, and they show up in some other like fuller sections as well. So it's just a very multifaceted tune sonically, and it captures the fun of the show overall. Again, there's dramatic moments, there's sad moments, there's emotionally complicated moments, but overall the feeling when you watch My Boss, My Hero is you're having fun and enjoying it, and I think the title theme here, the theme of Hero, captures that very well. So yeah, it's a top show, it's a top soundtrack. There's still more on here to go through. There's a track called You, which has this like Eastern meets Western feel, not East meets West, which is another track in the soundtrack. But again, there's a track called You that I think I'll react to next when I come back to this. So let me know what you think of this one. Shout out to all the folks who've known this show or follow other J-drama, and I will continue to go through the soundtrack. So let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.